1,000 light years away from Earth, on a planet known as the Far, Far Range, Beatrix LeBeau begins her first day as a slime rancher. You get to join me while I do it. What's up, funky boys? Mine. You vect slime. I know how to sort through my stuff, but my right bumper doesn't work. Get in there. You're prisoners now. See everything. No. You can't have any. It's mine. This is freaking Detroit, and as everyone knows, you can't have crap in Detroit. Oh, he looks like the one who's been stealing all the food in Detroit. Ow. Get over here, I'm gonna pelt you with fruit, you Vegemite. This is gonna be my new favorite thing, is the game is cheery as Slime Rancher, just as happy as it is. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna freaking talk like I'm in medieval times and I'm just a cruel, unjust king who just started ruling the land. Send the prisoners to the dungeons! I'll be honest, that genuinely surprised me. Here, eat that. Yeah. Oh, boy, mail. Ow. It's the favorite thing about any game, is reading the mail. Let's see what the mail has in store for us. Star Mail. Hi, B. What's it like to sleep for a whole year? Did you dream? I can't imagine what that's like. 7Z puts you in a pod and then lights out for the whole time and all that. Wow. What's the Far, Far Range like? Have you started exploring? Is the air as clear as they say? I bet it's really beautiful. Not for long. I'm probably asking too many questions. I bet you have a lot of work to do on that ranch. I still can't believe it's yours now. I guess I better leave you to it and just keep it short. Good luck, B. If anyone can make it out there, it's you. Welcome to the Far, Far Range, Miss LeBeau. The 7Z Corporation would like to welcome you to the Far, Far Range. Welcome, and extend our support in your bold new venture as a slime rancher. Support extended. We would also like to request that you exercise caution in your first few days on the ranch until you get more familiar with your surroundings. Traveling at night is not advisable. Lastly, should you require any additional tools for your backpack or items to make your slime ranching experience easier, the 7Z Corporation would be pleased to provide you with them from the shop located just outside your ranch house. The 7Z Corporation providing the tools you need to get the job done for us for a small fee. And that was mail. I now know the fundamentals. Alright, inmates, new prisoner. Yeah. Be sure not to kill him. He's just a lad. Oh, range exchange is off. Oh no, the prison's at maximum capacity. Away! Slimes come and go as I please and as I find new things to sell for gold. I go in and I get. I don't honestly know how to finish that. Maybe I shouldn't leave it off on I get. If anyone here dares to hurt me while I am collecting killing that one. Hey, here's a... Just because I don't know really what else to talk about, here's a story that happened a day or two ago. It's, so I have a pet snake, Curly. You all you all, meaning, like, anyone who's ever seen that video or knows me personally. I have a pet snake called Curly, ball python. Had him for over a month and a half, I want to say. And, so a day or two ago, we had to bug bomb the house because there was moths and crap flying everywhere. And let's be honest, who really wants to go through the process of trying to kill all those moths? And so I was chilling in the neighbor's house because, you know, we're good friends with the neighbors. And what happened was, well, the gecko I have has a small little aquarium container that you can easily just carry around, and so does my hamster. My snake has this huge aquarium that you can't transport easily, so my dad got a box for him to stay in, and like the fairly youngish teenager that I am, I wanted to open the box, get the snake out because I can. And so what ended up happening is I put the snake back, chilled for a couple hours, and Dad and them just went to go get takeout, considering we can't make anything at home. And was chilling for a couple hours, and freaking, I go to look in the snake box again. I open it, lo and behold, there's no freaking snake, and I am panicking. That doesn't really happen a lot. I don't panic a lot in my life, but when I panic, I freaking panic. And when they get back, we go on this entire house search to find the snake because, you know, snake lives in the house. More importantly, I want to find it because that is my pet snake that I love dearly. So we were like lifting up couches, checking under and in boxes, freaking furniture. Snake may be hiding there. But after, I want to say, a solid hour or so of searching, we kind of gave up for that day, and I stayed the night over at the neighbor's so I could keep watch, and turns out I fell asleep, and, well, when Sonny woke me up, the snake had knocked over a picture that was sitting on kind of I don't know, I think it's called a mantle, I don't think it's a mantle, but like, over the fireplace had this little wooden ledge where paintings were sitting on. The snake knocked one over, woke her up, so the snake kind of revealed its identity. Not as stealthy, it's a solid snake, I'll give it that, but, you know, stealthy when it wants to be. So, what happened after that was kind of funny, you know. So, overall, just found the snake, walked over, well, had to chill out for a while because it was kind of raining and kind of cold, and everyone knows you don't want to take a cold-blooded animal traveling through the cold. But that was an interesting altercation. And one thing I learned from panicking that bad is that, stress sweat smells a lot more than regular sweat does, I'll tell you that. You know, Slime Rancher is one of those games where there's not a lot going on unless, you know, you make a lot going on. So, in my view, I don't have a lot of things to talk about other than share some stuff about my personal life, maybe. So, I guess that's what I'm doing for this episode. Slime Rancher, I don't think that's how water looks, Slime Rancher. Unless the water is made up of slimes. Could you imagine this entire game? Like, I know there's water slimes, but could you imagine, like, sea slimes and they just all make up the water, and that's why the water just freaking looks like that. Um, the next kind of story I have lined up is, have you ever heard of Big Air? It's a trampoline park, kind of like Sky Zone, except, in my opinion, it's a lot better. It's, Sky Zone, has that one kind of big place that's just a bunch of trampolines you can hop between. Just, you have to be careful where you're hopping because there might be other people on the trampoline. And, so I go there for my friend's party. I've been there a couple times before that, but for a friend's birthday party, and we all got we all, kind of got free passes to all the, other stuff they had that wasn't trampoline related, they had this VR headset setup thing there where 4 people at a time could go into VR and play a select few games of their choosing. I mostly played Pirates, which was, you pick up guns and weapons all around you and you fight off hordes of skeletons. And since I didn't know how VR worked at all that time, when I got in, all I saw was darkness, and there was this one small skeleton-looking thing. Like, there was a small gold symbol on the ground. I didn't know you were supposed to stand on that, so I spent a solid minute just looking around, like, what the heck? So, when I finally stand on it, I'm thrown into the game. And of course, VR became my new favorite thing for that day. And, sorry, my throat is freaking dry. So I was playing playing Pirates, and I was, flailing at skeletons, just grabbing flintlocks, and I figured out that you could throw already fired off guns, and they'd still work as efficiently. But, I wasn't familiar with the fact that there was a place, I wasn't familiar with the fact that there would be skeletons outside of my range. So I pick up one of these sword things that you can grab, right, and I go to swing it, and what happened was, because of the way it's set up, the wires don't get in your way, so they have 4 pads where you can play, and 4 corners that keep the hooks up that hold on to the wires so you don't, freaking get tangled up in them. I swing the sword in-game, but as my arm goes out to swing, I hit one of those corners, and let me tell you, that hurt, let me tell you, it did not mostly hit the controller, it mostly hit my hand, because I was going for a backswing when I did it. And that hurt, man. Whether you come because it's Slime Rancher or stayed for my stories, thanks. I'm trying to think of something else that would... Basically, I'm trying to just create filler, because if you're mainly here for the game, not much is really interesting until, later on, but I'm trying to think of stories I can tell. I don't really remember much that has happened to me or friends that would be interesting to tell a story about, but I guess at this point I'll just fire off what I know. So, there's this beach called Fugitive Beach, and it's like this small kind of oasis type of thing where you can, well, it's a beach, first of all, you can just go swimming, and they have this... Okay, so the layout is, you go into the beach, it's this kind of large pool of water kind of encapsulated by walls and rocks and stuff, and you can go swim, do whatever, but it's got this giant water slide that you can go down. You ever been to a whitewater and see those really huge slides that go straight down and kind of just freaking have the water whip against your back because you're going down so fast? It's half the size of that, but, you know, instead of going, like, near straight down, it's at an incline still, so that's fun. And basically, what happened to me and most other people when they went down that slide, like, if you weren't able to keep your body real straight, what would happen 90% of the time is when you hit the water at that speed, your legs would fly up, and water would just shoot up your nose. And let me tell you, I hated that, but it wasn't enough to get me to stop going down that slide until around, like, the 5th or 6th time. And also at Fugitive Beach, they have a 10 and 20 foot jump. And, jumping off that 20 foot jump might have been, like, the bravest moment of my entire life, because I am naturally really scared of everything. Instead of just, like, you know, arachnophobic or scared of shadows, I'm just phobic. So, yeah, taking that 20 foot drop was the bravest thing I've ever done in my life, but, it was kind of funny, because after I took that drop, and a few more people either tried it and backed down, there was this one kid who you could always see at the top. He'd, you know, go up there, he'd do basically what everyone would do that kind of give them the back down from it. He'd go up there, he'd inch his way to the edge and kind of peer over. He'd pull back, go like he's going to jump in, like he'd get in the position like he was about to start running a marathon, and he'd act like he was going to run. He'd get some kind of speed up at the beginning. He'd slow down gradually as he got to the edge. He'd stop, peer over one more time, and he'd just kind of turn around and walk away, and he did this about 4 times, and I don't really know whether he actually did the jump at one point or another, but, like, freaking, it was kind of funny to watch at times. It's like, not because, you know, he was, like, scared of the jump, but because of some of the stuff he did during it. Like, I'm trying to remember, it's been a long time. God, that was back in, like, 2020, like, I want to say 2019, one of those two, probably 2019. And, he gets on the jump. He does the whole spiel, like I said, gets ready to run, slows down once he gets to the end. Some of the stuff he freaking said before he was going is like, okay, man, he's psyching himself up, he's like, he's kind of patting himself, slapping himself on the face, it's like, okay, you can do this, you can go. He'd get a running start, stop at the end. No, not me. And he'd, back down. It was the funniest stuff at times, but that might have just been me. If I ever became a comedian that told life stories that were mostly funny, I'd have to gain a lot more life knowledge for that, but, like, I don't know, most of the interesting life stories come from my dad. Like, this one time he told me about how he was crossing a pet shop who had a parrot who was coming straight from chat. One time, me and my friends all yelled something stupid going down a straight down water slide. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's done that at some point. Yeah, though, my dad was walking down a road. He went across a pet shop who had a previously owned parrot, and having a previously owned parrot can kind of go one of two ways. You can either, have a parrot that's barely taught anything, or you can have a parrot that's been taught a lot of things. And my dad told me this story about how he was walking down, he passed the pet shop, parrot freaking called out, parrot called him a son of a the son of a bee. And then he got into kind of like this argument with a parrot because apparently the pet store owner had told him that parrot previously belonged to a couple who used to get into really bad fights. Freaking, you say something to a parrot long enough, it's gonna eventually understand it, whether it does or not.